So I made a YouTube short to go over this topic, but I wanted to explain a little bit more of this opinion. I know how sad it would be to have Deku die, and I know that it would never happen, especially the scenario I gave out, but hear me out. The way I would truly love this series to end is with the death of Deku, to make the show go full circle. No one else has to really die, they can keep All Might alive. Imagine Deku, after beating Shigaraki, he tries to save him like he wanted to from the very beginning, but is unable to save him, due to Shigaraki's body not being able to fully handle all the quartz in his body. So he begins to rupture out with his powers, and so many people can see this. It would be on the same level of Toshiro in Mob Psycho. The only one with any amount of strength left takes it upon himself to save everyone, because this explosion can level an entire city, destroying everything in his path, and without really saying anything, he picks up Shigaraki and books it. He knows he can't say anything to his friends, his family, or anything, so knowing this, he decides to pick up Shigaraki, look at them, and book it. Everyone, knowing full well of what's going on, begins to cry as they see Deku save everyone. All Might sees this happen and is unable to do anything, attempting to try and save Deku, but by the time he can even move, Deku is far out of sight. During this scene, All Might begins to think back to the moment when he first met Deku, and we see a flashback of him and Deku's first conversation. Then he goes to another flashback of how he talks about true heroes' bodies just moving on their own without them even thinking, and knowing full well that Deku's body just did that again. And of course, during these scenes, you have stuff like You Say Run or the first My Hero opening playing in the background while this all happens. We then see All Might break down in tears, wishing that it was him. We hear Deku's voice in his head calming him down. On TV or something, Midoriya mom sees this or feels this happen and begins to break down, knowing full well what her son is doing. She doesn't even have to know what's going on. She can feel it because of her maternal instincts, telling her that her son is doing something noble. Then we just pan to all of his friends and teachers reacting to his selfless act, and all of them, including Bakugo, begin to break down in tears. Now before I continue on, I am behind on My Hero Academia. I am at the start of this current arc, so anything that happened during this arc, I do not know about. We go back to Deku as he is running, saying that he is sorry to all his friends, families, and mentors, but this was the only way to do it. The only way to save everyone. Deku finally gets to a safe distance, and before anything happens, Shigaraki tells Deku to just run, but he refuses, saying that he shouldn't have to be alone. And with this moment, we get a great heart-to-heart scene between Shigaraki and Midoriya. In a way, he did exactly what he wanted to do. He saved Shigaraki, and Deku knows even if he really wanted to leave, he wouldn't be able to make it. And why would he want to run when he could save one more person? We can pan back over to his main friends and All Might as they look on and see a massive explosion. Then we go to a few months to even a couple years into the future, where they have started to rebuild a society. They have new heroes in the field. We go to the center of the city where people are honoring the greatest hero to have ever lived. Someone who started out quirkless became the best hero anyone has ever seen. Surpassed the hero that everyone thought couldn't be surpassed. He sacrificed himself to save so many people, put his body on the line for others, and never gave up on anyone. Even when his strength was nearly depleted, he still put it all on the line to protect his friends, family, mentors, and just everyone around him. The embodiment of a true hero lived inside of him. During here, we can pan to people that Deku had an impact on, such as Koda, Eri, All Might, Mirio, Ochako, Bakugo, Todoroki, and just everyone else around him. The story ends with Deku dying but putting a smile on everyone's faces because of what he stood for, what he embodied, inspiring many heroes to come after him, making him the greatest hero of all time and the true #1 hero of the world. People may mourn him, but would always keep a smile on their faces because of what he stood for and his inspirations. It's a sad ending, but a happy one. Yeah, you won't get your fanships like Deku and Ochako, Bakugo and Deku, Todoroki, Deku, Nomu, and Bakugo, but you can still get Bakugo and Ochako, who named their kid Midoriya, Izuku, or Deku to honor him and his memory. To me, this would be the perfect ending to the series. For most people, it wouldn't be the best ending, it would probably suck, but I think it would be a great ending to a great character. He would become the greatest hero, and the #1 hero, like he said in the beginning of every episode. He would put smiles on so many people's faces and would inspire so many people to be like him. Even if you're quirkless, no powers, or even has like the most useless powers, that you can still become a hero. Now that's a stretch, but still, that would be what people would inspire to be like. I will even say that smiles would be a little much, but I can see people still smiling knowing what he stood for. It would be a fitting end to both quirks, All for One and One for All, which used to be one quirk separated, but then came back together to end the lineage. It would re-inspire every hero that has retired to be better and work towards what a kid had achieved keys by himself. It would be a truly phenomenal ending to the series for me. Deku dying would probably be one of my favorite deaths in anime because of how impactful it would be and how fitting it would be for his character to sacrifice himself for the greater good. Now, like I said, this is my opinion. It doesn't have to be yours. I am honestly open to hearing other people's thoughts on this matter. I would love this ending. It doesn't mean others will have to as well. And I know full well this will not happen at the end of the story. And if it does, then I'm a prophet for some odd reason. But it would be a nice twist on how Deku became #1 hero of the world, and I would love it.